Shallow, shallow. It is that time. It's Thursday. Talks with Tracey. She shall be on momentarily. So I'm going to start doing a little bit before, and it's really cool. I do love that with Tracey, she comes prepared with like, here's what we want to talk about. Here's the thing. So today is wanting to do better. Better is a decision. Better happens on the other side of choices that we make, but better feels greater overall. So let's be better. Let's do better. Let's make better choices. Let's push ourselves to be better than we are today. Look forward to better tomorrow. Look for better in the near future in spite of where we are today. And that is so important to be looking. You get to get better. Like, however you feel right now, guess what? You have a 100% success rate. You got through it. You're alive. You're here. So you got better. You will get better. It might not be on the timetable that you want it to be. It might not look exactly how you want it to look, but you will get better. And that's what gets me through every migraine, every really hard moment. I'm always like, well, I get to be better and I get a second chance. And those of us who lived through some like strokes, like 50% of them, when the doctor told me it was a flip of a coin, whenever I am feeling super down or, it's super hard, I remind myself, I'm like, you survived something that kills most people. Um, da, 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 da. Getting started. Mm-mm-mm. So I would like to cut this out, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We are not in the phase yet, okay? I will start editing things, but right now this is how I work every new muscle and every new thing. So the podcast right now, I'm just trying to get in the habit of always getting it up today. And then eventually it's going to turn into where it's just the time of it. Like right after this, then I want to go eat lunch. So hopefully I'm going to start eventually making the habit be I eat lunch, then I come back here, I edit some things out of it, and then I pop it up onto the podcast. But right now we're just like, get it up, get it out, let's do this. And I know that drives some people crazy, but I feel like that's why I've had success in my recovery and just in life is because I realized that as I'm going, it's just like when you first started to walk, you first started to swim or do anything, like you get to. Um, and I'm like, hey, if I start out great and edited and everything all there's not that much room for improvement. So right now you guys are just like, okay, Tawnie has some growth she can be growing. Um, mm. Oh, this is a good question. How has your experience with a brain aneurysm influenced your perspective on life? Holy smoke, it's changed so much. It forced me to be so highly aware and grateful of what we take for granted. Like, I look back at my rehab, and you guys, right now, if you can just move your head, do you know how awesome that is? And before my second brain surgery, going like that, that's how I knew something was wrong, was because my equilibrium was off. I'm like, I can't even move to the side. And if you look back, that's when I stopped doing yoga. I stopped doing all of these things. I'm kind of worried about, we still good? Boop, boop, boop. She might have just had some tech difficulties, but also I know sometimes we get sidetracked and maybe she's like, oh my God, it's time. Because that's happened before too. Um, do 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 do. All right. Oh, so my perspective, because like going down the stairs was hard. So I realized like we get so focused on all the things we don't have. We look at all the things that we I mean, and I still fall victim to it too, okay? I still sometimes like, oh, it used to be easier to do this, or like I found myself yesterday, I felt good enough to exercise. And so I was on the treadmill, I did a little bit of yoga, a little bit of weights, and I W'd the dogs. And then when was home, I was like, oh, maybe I should do a little bit. And I go, why are you going to push it? Like, why do you feel like you need to keep doing more and more? So, I just have to say, I appreciate that perspective flip, and being around others who remind me of that too. They're like, "Hey, you're doing a lot. You are, uh, facing so many different obstacles." And so, like, I mean, today I was really proud of myself drinking my coffee while walking on the treadmill. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing this." Like, it was a little hard. It was weird, but that's multitasking and. All right. I hope I'm like, I always get nervous. Like, she ain't responding to a text. I'm hoping soon it's just gonna pop up on a live. Keep saying timed out 1 sec. Oh, okay. Okay, no biggie. Just anxiety. Just anxiety over here. Immediately. Oh my God, something's wrong with her. Like, that's what was going on in my head. And I was like, Tawnie, do not say that out loud. Like, you do not need to immediately think that things are wrong. It's like, I'm waiting. Da 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 da. Okay, she's resetting her phone. Okay, she's setting the phone. Dun 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 dun. Okay, 8 minutes in. Fuck. I guess I'll be forced to learn how to edit. No, I'm just kidding. I know how to edit. It's just more about taking the time and energy to do it. Like, there we go.
To come in and we'll get started. I apologize. We were having some issues with being live today. Once Tawnie gets in, there's my beautiful shell right there. We'll bring her in and get started.
Hello.
Hey there, beautiful. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. It's always so great to see your face, I must say.
I love seeing your face. I know. And just like all your workout stuff, I want you to know whenever I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm like, think of Tracey. You do. You want to do this. You'll feel better when you do it.
Listen, I told you to just start calling me, and we can always, as we're doing now, go live and work out together, man. We don't have to be there. So whenever you need that motivation, I got you. So just let me know. And we gonna make it happen. So I'm excited about today's topic. Absolutely. And I do apologize. I was trying to even put it in. So today's topic, so before I begin to start talking, is speaking about better. And I'm actually going to give you the Webster's definition of what better is, even though we all know, but I like to bring it into a context. So better, in one sense that I like, is partly or fully recovered from illness, injury, or mental stress, less unwell. So, with that being said, which is a great definition
Yeah.
with the context that we're going to talk about today. So, let's look at better when it comes to a stroke survivor. Myself and Tawnie are stroke survivors. We may have this, I'm going to say, light bulb on top of our head that says, hey, our goal is to be better. Our goal is we want to do better. Our goal is better days. Our goal is better feeling from where we are now. Our goal is always going to be we want to achieve more. We want to be more. We want to be better. And the reason that is because better is a terminology of wellness. Better being a terminology of wellness as, hey, as a stroke survivor, we have all suffered traumatic disorders from our brain to our mental to our physical aspect. And it says now is, how can we get better mentally, physically, spiritually, like to the blind eye, to the visible eye, all of the above is what we're looking at when we're speaking of better. So when I thought about this context, really my brain was like, yo, this topic goes in so many different directions, but I want to, we can speak on it from multiple directions, but I want to start off with speaking from the terminology of let's looking at the bigger picture. As a stroke survivor, yes, I am doing great now, or what others may say, I'm doing better than I was yesterday, 5 years ago, and when I first had the stroke. But what was it looking like for myself when the day one I had the stroke? Did I or could I see that up ahead there were better days? Or was I in this state of, I better get up and figure this out? So it takes you through all these thought processes to say, hey, when will I get better? When is it going to feel better? When am I not going to feel like I'm going backwards? When am I not going to feel this bad? I want to be better. I want to. So we're going to always look at this. I want to do more. I want to do more. So that takes us back as one, by the grace of God, we're doing well now as the survivors we are, but it takes us back. So that's why I said we can have this go from so many different contexts, because I want to go back to Tracey 2019. Tracey 2019, waking up from that coma for them to tell me I just suffered from a stroke. I'm like, one thought process is, so out of your mouth, you're saying you could possibly get better, but statistics state that you may not get better. So which better am I going to accept? Which better am I going to take? And depending on which one that is, that determines how we're going to move forward in our life, in our recovery, and the things that we're going through. So we all want to say, or the term always says, when you're looking at the optimistic world or the optimistic person, better days are ahead, better days are coming. And if you know me, I am the big optimist. Better days are coming, yes, because I believe in a bigger faith. And even though I don't know what's coming or what's ahead, better is. Because I can go back and say, day one, I couldn't see the better is now that I am at, but I could see I want to get better. You're saying I may be paralyzed and not walking for the rest of my life. I said, sir, I'm going to get better because I will not be a statistic. So with that being said, we have to look at and we have to pay attention to the things around us, the things that may deter us to say, hey, we're going to allow this negativity or this statistical fact to say, hey, this doesn't look like I'll get better. Or
See, and then like I took the statistics when I heard when he said you had a ruptured brain aneurysm and you had a hemorrhagic stroke. That's a 50% mortality rate. He goes, it's like a flip of a coin. I took it as I'm so lucky to be alive. Like half of the other people did not live through this. And like, of course, because I was misdiagnosed for a week, I of course was livid. I was angry. I was like, so you mean when I came in and told you I felt like I was dying, I was, and you guys didn't help me. But I started looking at it even more as like, I'm so lucky that I get to get better. I'm so grateful. But it was not, I had to take it minute by minute sometimes because of how much pain. And I had the opposite of like, I felt fine. And like, I mean, the nurse even goes, "You're the first person to ever ask for the catheter out." Like, I was like, I don't want this in. Like, I want to be able to get up and go to the bathroom. And she was like, "You had brain surgery." Absolutely not. It's not happening. You're not getting up from that bed for 24 hours. Like, that is a rule. And um, but I could hear when they did the rounds, and what was scary to me was they go, like, things would change, and I'm like, "Why is that happening?" And they're like, "That's just as blood's breaking up in your brain." And you're like, "So you don't know if this is my forever." And so I really started to be very mindful and just try to be like, I have to keep thinking I'm going to get better and that things are not going to get worse, even though the doctors are telling me, like you heard too, like, you may just stay this way. Mine was like, you may be, I go, "So you mean I know who I am and I can walk right now, but later tonight I might not?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." And you're like, don't say that to somebody. Like, let's just take that out of what your bedside manner. Um, so I think you hit it on the being very mindful of being positive and not looking at it as like, you're like, I'm alive. Instead of being like, I could be dead. It's like, but I'm alive. Like, I always jump back to, but it is better.
And that goes for even our strokes, our community of stroke survivors that are struggling with the when will I? When is it? When did you? All of us are different, but we all go back to that terminology of wellness, of wanting to get better, wanting to be better. And we really can take control of that in a sense of saying, hey, I mean, I like the better days are coming. Where I am today is not going to be where I am always. It doesn't look like that of day one. I'm going to keep saying that. But we have to have some type of strength or positivity to bring us back to we are alive. Because if you go back to statistics states that listen, I forgot what the numbers are.
I think it's like 60% have a permanent neurological damage, 50% pass away. So I was like, even though we survived it, 60% of us have permanent neurological damage. So,
and honestly, I think it's even higher.
It probably
today.
is.
I believe it's higher because the recent numbers are. I honestly believe it's higher. So all of those things that takes, it just really gives me. It really gives me joy to say, hey, I have a breath of life. I'm alive today. And even still, everyone looks and says, oh my gosh, you're doing so wonderful. You're doing so great. Your strength and your XYZ. I'm constantly one in my head. I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to do more. And that the reason being asked because I'm striving for more. I'm striving for the greatness that I have that God has given me to still be alive. But I'm striving. And with me striving, I also want to be, as myself and Tawnie, we're advocates for the stroke community. We want to continue to strive so you can see, hey, there is better. They were once like me over here. They once was in a situation that they didn't know where their outcome was going to be. And they're constantly progressing. They look great. They look like they don't have any residual or anything after their stroke. But then we'll see posts that say, wait, her arm does what my arm does, or her, like all of those things is, so that better mentality needs to be that our driving fuel to say, hey, there are better, but the better also is what is better.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to we really don't know what better is. Mm-mm. Better is mental. Better is,
and it can change daily. It can change. And I
Absolutely.
think that's super important on a healing journey, because I would say it, and let me know down below if you've ever said this. I feel like I took one step forward and two steps back. Oh, yeah. All the time. Okay. I started to learn. I try now and say, maybe this is a side step. It is not a step backwards, because you can look at it. I was 7 years into my recovery, and then they found another brain aneurysm. I could look at that as I have to start all the way over, but I don't. I'm Tawnie 3.0. I'm not Tawnie 2.0 anymore. because we've had another brain surgery. So we're 3.0 and I get to get better. And this second brain surgery was so much different because I had all the knowledge, I had all the tools, I had the community, I had support. So some people are like, I'm so sorry you have to do it all over again. And I was like, I don't. This is not all over again. This is a different journey. Because first of all, this was a completely different healing experience, and why I will advocate so hard to trust your body, because if you can find it before, much better than after. So I think it's important to also remember you're better. You know, I tell people sometimes with my invisible illness, I can't compare better even yesterday. Some day, maybe that was a great day and today isn't a great day. So I've really learned my better sometimes is minute by minute. And when I was really deep and early in my recovery, I would tell myself constantly, like, one day you're not going to hurt like this, and you're going to be so good that you're going to forget. You're going to have to go back and remind yourself. And there are some times where I'm just walking my dogs and I'm reminded, they told you would never walk both your dogs.
Absolutely.
That you would never do that. And I was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Watch me. I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it live. I'm gonna record myself while I do it.
Yeah. And so that goes back. That's a beautiful thing, because it goes back to that better when we don't really know what better is. And as even every day that we're going through our life, we remind ourselves of the little things that we don't always say it, like, wow, I remember when I couldn't. I remember when I wasn't better. I remember when I was still dealing with all these things. And today I'm doing it without thought. Today I'm advancing. Today I'm making these moves. It's all of these things that we have to look at the bigger picture of better, 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 better. And that right there should give us our stroke survivors, new and old, the push to keep going, because we don't really know what better is. But as two survivors, two advocates here saying, better is an accumulation of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the unknown. So as long as we have something to strive for, to say, we have possibly a tunnel vision to say, hey, we can, if I get through this day, or I get through this moment, through this second, I can make it a little further. And right now, with everything you may be going through, you don't really see that. So basically, it goes back to, we have to sit with ourselves a little more. We have to sit and think about our situation. We are blessed because we are alive. And it always takes me back to, we are survivors. There are people that had a stroke and died.
Yeah.
So if you don't know anything else, we are survivors.
My favorite quote is,
it's beautiful, because at times I forget to say stroke survivors, because it just takes me to, we are survivors. So which means we are alive. So stroke, yes, happened, but we are alive. So stroke survivor. We are stroke past, alive. We have a new breath of life. God has given us a second chance, as Tawnie said, 2.0, 3.0 with her. Listen, if I had to count all of my things I had post-stroke, I might be 5.0 right now. So it's all of these things, but it's a great thing to say. My better is, and even today with the things that I'm going through and the things that I'm doing and Tawnie is doing, we still want better. We still want to do things with better. We still want to appreciate life better in better ways. So all of these things we have to look at with better.
So yeah, improving every day. I love it. Senior Spud said, I'm alive. And that's what I try and remind myself. And even if you have never had a stroke, everybody watching this, I'm going to tell you something and tell me that I'm not right. You have a 100% success rate. If you are watching this right now, you have succeeded through every single thing. There has been a moment or a time where you thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but you're here right now. So like you do. And there's been moments I've had to remind myself where and that's where like I'm a cry, where I have seriously been bent over in so much pain, just like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And I breathe through it, and I'm breathing through it. And then now I'm like, you're so much better. I have so many good days. It's rare that I have a bad day. Like, that's so nice. And I remember when it was the opposite. And I just kept telling myself, push through those better days. It's not always going to be like this.
And that takes me back to, somebody was asking, how am I always smiling? Because again, with my big optimism, my big faith that I have in God, because I am alive, because I'm a survivor, I put the better days in front of me. I don't go back and I sit in those days of when I woke up out of the coma. I sit in those days of I still remember when I passed out, when I before I even stroked out. I don't sit in those. And it also goes back to how with my past anniversary last week, somebody said, "How could you go back to that place?" I'm smiling because I'm happy to say I was able to come back to this place. That place that I had the stroke is not the place that said, "Hey, Tracey died here."
Yeah.
Tracey, listen, Tracey survived here. Tracey survived here is what it is. So with that fact that Tracey survived then, Tracey surviving today, Tracey has survived every situation that she has been in that was in the past. Even 10 minutes ago, I survived a thought that I may have had to say, "Hey, today could not be a great day." I survived that because I'm here now. I'm smiling. So we have to look at better ways. We have to sit with ourselves to look at bigger pictures. As we may not be where we want to be today, but with the breath of life, better days are ahead, and you have a chance to make a better choice. And it goes back to the context I sent you, Tawnie, where we're talking about better is a concept. Better is how we push ourselves. Better is the things that we do. Better are the choices that we make. So we better not sit in that. We better take ourselves from that old sunken place and better get up and say, "Hey, we're going to move forward. We're going to do more for ourselves." That is going to help us to continue to be survivors, continue to love life, continue to breathe, and figure out how to take control and be in control of our smiles and our joy in this new journey that we're living every day.
Yeah. Exactly. Cheryl said it beautifully. She said, "I'm taking my journey, I think one day at a time, all while thankful for what I'm able to do and looking forward to the months, years into healing journey. Definitely hopeful than I was in the beginning. I had no clue." And Senior Spud also said, "I'm still early in recovery. I know it's not going to happen overnight." And that's what we're really trying to say is it takes practice. It's looking to the better. You're still going to have those thoughts, and I think that's what I was like, "Oh, those will just go away." No, my brain still does have that for a second. You think, "Oh, why me? Why?" And then I go, "Why not me? I'm built for this. I succeed. I can get through this, and I can raise more awareness with this." So like you just start to learn, and it's just like working out. If you start doing it a couple times, you're not very good at it, but your muscle memory, like to the point that my mom was angry that when I got the news about my second brain surgery, I told her and was immediately like, I said "Why does this have to happen to me again?" And then I go, "You know what? It happened so that I can raise more awareness and so I can save more lives." So my mom was like, "Can we please worry about you before you're already to that point?" And so it's funny that you'll start noticing it rubs off on the people you're around, like my husband, even things will go wrong. You get upset, but you just don't unpack and stay there because you look at the point that we get to get better. Like you get another day, you get another chance. And so like I used to get all embarrassed about crying. I'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like crying. And now I am like, it took my neurosurgeon going, "Maybe it's the fact that you got a second chance and you love more deeply and you feel more deeply," instead of looking at as I was like, "Something is wrong with me. I cannot control my emotions and I'm embarrassed. I be crying in front of everybody and it's weird." But you look at it differently.
You totally look at it different. And even with that, I listen, I tell everybody around me, just ignore me. I cry or laugh or anything. Or because I have this one that I can do extreme laughter. So I have a lot more control now because I have days that I'm trying to hold back my laughter because, and I notice when my body's about to do it. So I was explaining to, I can't remember, having a conversation with somebody. It's part of the emotions,
Yeah.
as I have said a few times before, how our brain disconnect has caused all of these emotions to kind of filter in and cross. So laughter could be extreme at times, crying could be extreme at times. The emotional situation that you say out of nowhere, I just have a cloud over me. All of these things could have it could be extreme. It could sit for a long time, it could be a quick second, all of the above. So with learning and going through the process of it, you learn how to deal with it or control it a lot more. But then that takes me back to my family or loved ones around. listen, just ignore me. And I may just out of the
See,
blue
better
just do something.
tools,
They're
better
like,
tools. You know what to say to them. You're just like, listen, that's just what I say when this happens now.
and we make a joke out of it because they're like, I was gonna say I had a bad day or I had something going on. Then I looked at you and be like, "Oh, I ain't had shit going on with you." So everybody kind of, and it's a beautiful thing because I don't have to keep saying other people around you, as you said, other people around you pick up like, "Hey, it's not so bad." Like literally, I get people to say it all the time. I was going to say, or I was going to mention, and then I looked and said, "Oh." With you sitting here still smiling or crying or laughing uncontrollably, girl, I don't have nothing to say but laugh with you, okay?
True. And laughter's so good. It is seriously the best medicine. Oh, Jared, that's so sweet. He said, keep up the amazing work, spreading positivity to a situation that can seem bleak to say the least. Y'all are amazing. We appreciate that's why Tracey, I love her smile, her positivity, like, and her I'm gonna do it. Like you just saying when you're trying to take the picture of you jumping and you just being like, I'm gonna learn how to jump better. Like, I can't believe I was doing that. And I just love having people around me who are like that, who encourage me, you know, to keep getting better and looking at things in a better view.
And once I master my jumping again, baby, I'm gonna post it because I definitely did go and get a box jump because I was like, yo, I lost my hop. And I used to have hop, baby. I could get up there. And I was like, child, that was hard to jump up and take a picture. But as they say, when you don't use it, you lose it. So that even is when we look at today where we are, we have to keep pushing to improve. We have to keep pushing ourselves to get better. Because if you can't see it, because we couldn't see it day one, but take this from us, two stroke advocates. We are showing you we've had the hard days, we've had the good days, and even today, 5 and 6 and 7 years post, 6 months because of the new brain surgery, we're still learning and we're still figuring out how to live this life of better for better days and how to keep control of the fact that we are better than we were when that stroke, which is the past, happened. Today we are a survivor. So survivor means we are alive. So we are the alive stroke people. As some strokes take people out, we are alive. So a survivor is alive. We have survived. And every day that we have a new breath of life, we are still surviving, y'all. So this is what I want you to look forward to, because today you have breath, tomorrow can be a better day, and it's based off of the choices that we make for ourselves. So let's look at engulfing on more positivity and learning how to smile through it all.
Got the waterworks that comment.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it for us. So we're gonna end here. I really, really am grateful for both of you. You all give us hope. I was going too fast. When the stroke first happened, I had no hope. Everyone I would talk to was so negative and always saying, I don't know if you have a chance. Oh, okay, I know we're supposed to be gone, but listen, I rebuke all the people around you. I'm gonna leave on that note because listen, one thing you want to do is be around positive people. I can't deal with nobody or nothing negative. Listen, I don't want it around. And for my stroke survivors of the new, the old, and anybody around, peace is so beautiful. Peace and laughter is beautiful. So negativity from somebody saying, I don't know if you'll make it, or even the doctors, they're not trying to be negative. It's just the lack of knowledge from textbook of saying this is what statistics says and this is all we have to tell you. That goes back to your mama saying, if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. So for those that are around my stroke survivors that may say something negative because you see the outside of what we're going through, you really don't understand what we're going through in the inside. So please just hold your comments to yourself. We don't need any negative. Even if you see my hand twisted or slobbered on my face or my face twisted, say, hey, I'm praying for you. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. Or is there anything I can help you with? Because better days are ahead. So give us that. If you can't give us anything, just give us that. And that can go from anybody. You don't have to know a stranger on the seat to say, hey, have a blessed day. Or and that blessed day to just give them a peace of mind and say, hey, I figured they were probably looking at me because my hand was twisted or because I was limping. But, or to even speak to say, and I'm one of those people that try to speak to people all the time. You don't know a thought somebody has in their head or what they just dealt with when they left out of a room or when they turned their corner. So me, I'm one of those people that try to make eye contact and speak or say, hello, have a beautiful day, and things like that. So that's just again, leaving on that. That's just something that we all need to practice. As we need to practice more love and learning how to smile. And if you don't have anything to say, just even if it's a fake smile, put a smile on your face, y'all, and keep it going. Put a smile on your face, and we're gonna leave on that
I
note.
love that. Keep a smile on your face. Love it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, beautiful
Bye,
people.
guys.
We will see you all next week.
Next Thursday.
Yes.
Boop. Okay. Man, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know my phone. I thought I had, why the heck all of a sudden is it vibrating, making noises? So apologies on the podcast area. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Wow, yeah. Got me pretty emotional. It's just so cool. It is nice because, you know, like I love my husband, but he even sometimes like your positivity too much. Stop it. Get out of here. So sometimes you got to turn things down and you got to turn some things up. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. Bye.